linguistic connection, but also because the Canis Empire had an elite group of warriors called the Dukes. Okay? So from there, you have Dukes. It was spelled like this, D-K, because remember, vowels are just a crutch. If you're going to learn about language, you're going to realize vowels are absent from ancient history, okay? Because remember, language comes from Sanskrit first and then is translated to written tablets, papyrus, paper, okay? Duk, okay? They were known as, you're going to like this, they were known as the Dukes of War. This is where Shakespeare got the phrase dogs of war. From Duk, you get the term dog. They were Syrians, and this is how they can become known as the dog race. So from Duk, you get the word dog. Dogs of war, Dukes of war. And the cannibalism part, coming from the name, also came from their method of warfare, which was just to simply eat the enemy right on the battlefield. Okay? Now, if you're going to run a corporation, you can't eat the employees, okay? So the Satar queens went to the Canis feudal lords, once again, the ultimate form of government being feudalism everywhere. This democracy will go back to feudalism, like it or not. The Arians, trying to run an establishment here and in a relationship with them, they were feuding with each other, and they realized it's more profitable to work together, okay? What you see, the friction between these two is no different than the friction that was caused during the Civil War in this country, and the only reason the Civil War was brought to an end was because it was more economically feasible to bring it to an end. No one was making money off the war, so it was time to bring it to an end. Here, they were losing money, destroying everything in sight, laws of supply and demand. There comes to a certain point where war starts destroying the profits that you initially started the war for in the first place. Then you need to stop it. So they decided it was more profitable to work together. And this is when the Aryan Empire and the Canis Empire, the Syrians, Orion, joined forces, tentatively working together. It's not like they were hugging each other and kissing, okay? What happens is that because the Satar queens were spreading so far out, this relationship here between the younger and the older empire began what is now known today as the two-party system. This is the original two-party system right here, okay? Now, in that two-party system, somebody makes the rules and the other one carries out the dirty work. The Satar queens made the rules, passed the laws, decreed. The Canis carried out the dirty work. They were the feudal lords, okay? Feudal lords. What's interesting is that as I go along in this lecture, you will also see me interspersing references and symbolisms from the Invisible College. Art, literature, film, okay, science fiction, in a lot of cases. These feudal lords you see depicted in Stargate SG-1 or the movie Stargate, those feudal lords, okay? Here, you're talking about if you're looking for good depictions, the Satars, the reptilians, there's this great bounty hunter played a very small role in Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back. Bosk, the reptilian, is standing right there next to Boba Fett. That's your reptilian, okay? Here, dogs of war, Syrians. You ever see the movie The Howling? They stand on two legs. You see them stand up like that? That's your Syrian, okay? That's how scary it gets seeing these damn things. Imagine the bounty hunter and one of those werewolves, okay? From these feudal lords, there was, of course, where the term comes from, feuding. The Syrians being a younger empire, they also feuded amongst themselves. Why? Because they were vying for favoritism from the Satar queens, okay? The Satar queens decided to pick one over all others, and they favored him over all others. And that one that they picked was known as Anu, okay? The Syrian feudal lord, Anu, all right? Now, from Anu, since Anu was favored by them, it made it much easier for, as you see with the mafia or any kind of criminal organization, what do you do first? You want a monopoly, you eliminate the competition. But you need backing from the crime syndicate to do that. This was the crime syndicate that backed up Anu, gave him carte blanche to go out and kill off all the other feudal lords, eliminating the competition. And what was he doing that for? Why was he favored? Okay, with the expansion of the empire came the discovery of this solar system, okay, in a much younger state of existence. And what made it so fantastic to discover was because, once again, concept, wood and stone, they discovered rich and valuable tradable resources within the kingdom. And when I use the term kingdom, kingdom is supposed to reference solar system, okay? When in any kind of Gnostic or religious literature, when you see the word kingdom, they're talking about solar systems, okay? And in each and every solar system, no different than real estate here on one planet, okay? In each and every solar system, in keeping with the idea of feudal structure, corporate structure, there was always one planet that's going to be used as the throne of power. In this case, it's Earth. Earth is the throne of power. This goes a hell of a long way to explaining why they are so interested in coming here to this backwater system, okay? And a lot of the naysayers and academics are like, why would they come here if we're such a bunch of ignoramuses and we're only interested in tribal warfare? That's the best we can do at this point. I mean, we started off the 21st century with a bang, literally, by going and invading the Middle East. That doesn't really exactly speak well of alien contact. So, but the interest from that side of it is the tradable commodities within the entire solar system, not just this planet. But this planet is the throne of power, so it has to be given that due respect first, and this is where you get all the wars and the feuding over controlling this throne, because legally, by feudal law, when you control the throne, you control all the other commodities within that system, within that kingdom, in this case, the other planets, the other real estate, okay? This is also what made this solar system something worth fighting over, because of all the rare and rich and valuable tradable commodities that were found here. And of course, it's because of the ambition of the females that this system was found at all, okay? But them being the elitist pigs that they are, they're not going to get their hands dirty by doing the work themselves. Why? Because in this two-party system, they are upper management, they are middle management. Middle management gets stuck with the job of doing the dirty work, okay? Middle management, this is why they favored him, okay? They bloated his ego and said, you're the one we want. Meanwhile, they just wanted some lackey to do the work. So they sent him down. Now, he's King Anu, so of course he too is not going to get his hands dirty. What does he do? He sends his vicious, sadistic pig of a son called Enlil, okay? So from Anu, you get Enlil. Prince Enlil. King Anu, Prince Enlil, okay? Now, Enlil did not want to come here. But this shows you how powerful the treaties and agreements and feudal law is between these two empires, to the point where he could force his son to do this, or else you're dead, okay? When they come knocking on your door and say, you go here, you go, otherwise you get your throat slit. Enlil, under protest, came down to this system, and his job was to basically mine the tradable commodities within this solar system. He didn't want to be here. He had his own form of middle management, okay? He had, based on Anu's name, he had the Anunnaki, okay? Now, what's interesting about this is that if we can split this, but linguistically, if we can split this down the middle, all right, Anunnaki, Anu's faithful, okay? All right, because of King Anu, all right? Well, that leaves us with the second half here. Now, I can only say this just on intuition alone. I find it quite interesting that Naki, you have the Third Reich associating themselves with this cosmology as being the rightful heirs to the throne. From Naki, you get a mispronunciation, Nazi, okay? Can't prove it, but it's a strong intuition, something to think about, all right?